Hello, this is Aaron from Beansprout Musical Instruments. We're here today to do a little video on the maintenance and upkeep of your Beansprout banjo ukulele. We call this the care and feeding video. We did a version of this several years ago for Maya Moe, but we've got a few updates, and I thought we'd redo it with with the new instruments. So let me point this down at the bench so you can see. Great. Okay, so the thing is about a banjo ukulele or a banjo is that it's a little more mechanical than a normal instrument, normal ukulele, that is. There's a lot more things for you to mess with, and I would encourage you to avoid that temptation. I get a lot of questions from customers where they say, oh, this thing has gone wrong. I said, oh, well, what happened? And they said, oh, well, I did this and that to it, and now it doesn't work. Well, you just have to trust me that maybe you should leave it alone beyond what I talk about here. So, to begin with, your head tension. If you have a synthetic head like this one, it should be tight enough that the bridge isn't sinking into the head very much. So if it gets a little loose over the course of 6 months or a year, you can turn your instrument over and just give like a quarter or a half turn, zigzagging all around like this until you've done all of them. And the goal is to try to have that synthetic head on the top be pretty flat, not saggy. Yeah, so if I look from the side, it doesn't look sunk in at all. It's got a nice vibrant tap to it. If you have the natural calfskin head, this is something you're going to have to look at a lot more often, especially as the weather changes. So if it's sunk way down, then you need to tighten your head up. That's because it got humid. If it gets overly tight, it's going to break. So you might even have to loosen it if it feels like it's too tight. The synthetic or the calfskin head sounds great and looks cool, but it does take some more maintenance. So yeah, this is the little wrench that came with your instrument, and those are these, and it matches these hooks and nuts all the way around. So let me get my notes here so I can double check. The other thing is restringing. So your instrument has a tailpiece with these studs here at the back, and I tie the strings on in 2 half hitches on these 4 knobs. And I like to do all the strings at once if possible, because the extra string length from the knot, I tuck it this way, and then the other strings get knotted on top of it so that there's not 4 sharp string ends there. I take them all to the end and they're woven under like this and then clip it off. If you do have to just change one string, then yeah, you might have one sticking out. But I recommend tucking them in if possible. Also, your tailpiece should be down pretty close to the top of the banjo here. It shouldn't be up in the air, and it shouldn't be so tightened down that this piece bends. So I've seen people take their wrench and go to the tailpiece and tighten it so much that this part of the tailpiece bends or breaks. So it should just be flush to the top of the instrument here and not pulled too far down. Great. Oh, the tuners. So your tuners are these little Goto geared tuners. They're 4:1 tuning ratio. They do have a little screw in the back, and if your tuner is too tight or too loose, you can take a Phillips head screwdriver and gently turn it at a half turn or so, tighter or looser, in order to make it feel how you want it to feel. Bridge placement. So your instrument came with 2 pencil marks in front of the bridge right here on this edge, and that tells you where the bridge should go. The bridge can move around if you bump it, or it gets knocked over, or the case might push it around, or if you're in a gig bag or something like that, or if you play really hard, it might move. But you want it back there. And I set that by, I've already measured it, and then I set it with my little gauge here. You want to leave it by where those pencil marks are. Now, the bridge itself, it is not an A shape in this dimension. It's angled in this dimension, and then it's flat on the back. That's on purpose. I didn't make it like an A, where it's both angled. It's angled in the front, flat on the back. And I like that design because it's less likely to tip over as you tune up your instrument. Let me swap this out for one with a pickup now. If you have the K&K pickup, it's drilled through here in the side, and then your 2 sensors are right there. And it's stuck on with a piece of double-sided tape that's thick. Now, when I play this with a pickup live, I often take my piece of foam, which comes with your instrument, and I slide it down here, and it goes over the pickup. I find that helps with feedback, and it helps dampen the bright overtones of a banjo family instrument. And then when I'm not using the pickup, I sometimes just scoot it up over here, so it brightens less overtones, or dampens less overtones, but I like the tone this way. Or you can just take it out. And yeah, that's your pickup. Okay, let me show you how I recommend putting the strap on. So your strap has two ends. This end has a tab through it, and this end has several holes. So we're going to go to the hook that's just underneath the neck on this side. So it goes almost all the way through, and then the last thing it does, we're going to put it through this little tab. So now this part, it's hanging carefully like that. And then you also got a piece of cord here. And what you want to do is you want to put that cord in whichever one of these four holes is the best height for you. And then tie it off right here. And if you choose to, you can trim the extra length off. So that means this end, it's set, and this end is adjustable. You can go through either one of these four holes to get the right height, and then cut off the extra that you don't need. These are technically mandolin straps, but I've been using them for years, and I really like them. Yeah, and also for changing strings, I change the strings of my Banjo Uke about 3 or 4 times a year. You might not need to do it quite that often. But I recommend these GHS fluorocarbon strings, and you can get sets from me off our website store eventually. Great, so send me some questions if you have any, and thanks for watching the video.